Let's bring in Mustafa Barghouti from Ramallah. He's the Secretary General of the Palestinian National Initiative. Welcome to the News Hour. Why has the Israeli military announced what it's calling a new counter-terrorism operation in the north of the occupied West Bank? What's their goal and how do you think that they're justifying this?
No, this Israeli attack with the 3 Israeli brigades on civilian Palestinian areas is not an attack on terror. It's actually part of the terror itself. The only terror we have in the West Bank is the one that is conducted by Israeli illegal settlers who are conducting terrorist attacks against civilian Palestinians every day, and the terror of the Israeli army. What Israel is doing is nothing but trying to suffocate the Palestinian population in the West Bank, to force people out of their country, to conduct ethnic cleansing. And they're attacking this area, Tubas, with other villages like Yamun, Tayasir, Aqaba, deporting people from their homes, destroying the people's houses, destroying people's work, imposing curfew on people, and arresting no less than 75 up till now. And the goal is really to suffocate people economically, to make their life so miserable, because the Israeli real game or goal is to force people out of Palestine, to conduct ethnic cleansing.
And back in September, Mr. Barghouti, we heard Donald Trump saying that he will not allow Netanyahu to annex the occupied West Bank. Why is there so much silence when we're seeing what's happening right now from the US, from Trump?
Unfortunately, the silence is not only from President Trump, but also from most Western governments. And unfortunately, very little is done also by the countries in the region. In reality, the Americans said they are against annexation, but actually Israel is de facto annexing the West Bank. In the last 2 years, they created 22 illegal settlements, new settlements, and more than 111 settlement outposts, each of which will become a new settlement. And they've allowed settlers terror all over the West Bank. And they've confiscated no less than 16% of the land of the West Bank, in addition to 16 other percent that is besieged by the Israeli apartheid wall. The practice of annexation is going on, and the Americans are doing nothing to stop the settlement expansion. In my opinion, the only thing that will stop Israel from continuing this atrocity, including conducting a war on people under its occupation, like is happening now in the north of the West Bank, the only thing that will stop them, if there are serious sanctions and punitive acts against the Israeli establishment, only boycott, divestment, and sanctions can force Israel to stop this terrible atrocity, which is affecting the civilian population in the West Bank.
You mentioned the Israeli army and, of course, the illegal Israeli settlers. How emboldened would you say they are right now?
Well, the Israeli settler terrorists are conducting terrorist attacks every day. On average, 8 Palestinian communities are attacked by settlers every day. And they burn houses, they burn farms, they uproot trees. In the last 2 years, they uprooted 48,000 trees, including mainly olive trees. And they are shooting people and killing them. The Israeli army is protecting these settlers and even participating in their crimes. And while they were attacking the north today, the settlers attacked also Abu Falah, Sinjil, Kufr Malik, Mghayr, and other communities in Ramallah and Bethlehem districts. These attacks are very severe and very dangerous. 1,033 Palestinians have been killed so far by the settlers and by the Israeli army in the West Bank in the last 2 years. But the settlers' terror is very serious. It reminds us with the same terror Palestinians were subjected to in 1948, which forced 70% of the population to leave their homes and their communities. This time, Palestinians are aware of history, aware of the fact that if they leave, they will never be allowed back. And that's why they are steadfast and they insist to stay, regardless of how painful the situation is.
You mentioned earlier the silence of the international community, and When we hear Donald Trump say that I'll use his word, he's dealt with Gaza. Do you feel that now people are ignoring, of course, there is apparently a ceasefire, which we know is not holding at all, that the eyes of the international community are away also from Gaza and also from the occupied West Bank, and that's fostering that silence?
That's true when it comes to governments. The eyes of the governments are away, concentrating on Ukraine and forgetting about what's happening not only in the West Bank, but also in Gaza, where the war continues. Today, the Israeli army killed 2 more people. Since October 10th, when the ceasefire was declared, Israel killed no less than 300 in Gaza and injured more than 700. And the Israeli military actions are continuing in Gaza. But there is silence, and the governments are turning their eyes away. But the peoples of the world do not turn away. On the contrary, I think the 29th of this month will see massive demonstrations all over the world in solidarity with Palestine and against this terrible ethnic cleansing that is continuing not only in Gaza, but also in the West Bank.
Mustafa Barghouti, it was a pleasure to speak to you on TRT World. Thank you so much for making time for us this evening. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.